Welcome to our endocannabinoid briefing. We do these every Thursday night at 7 p.m. We hope to inspire you, move you, and give you some real information that you can take with you, share with another, or at least have wisdom that may not have had prior to. But we do these calls every week for 20 minutes. They're live. And 10 minutes prior, we like to meet and mingle with people. And afterwards, we always want to answer your questions. Also, your questions may become what the next topic may be. But one of the big topics, and one of the reasons why Ashley Lee, a registered nurse, has created our endocannabinoid briefings is a little over almost 2 years ago. I shared with her my vision and my frustration trying to be an advocate for myself. Because a lot of times when you're advocating for your own health and you start talking to doctors and professionals, everybody seems to know more than you. And you end up walking away feeling this big if you don't have the education behind you to feel credible. And so, one of the things I shared with Ashley is I not only wanted to create a company where we could create real wellness from plants, but I wanted to create a health advocacy board where people from all walks of life could find somebody that they relate to, that they could resonate with, and say, you know what? I'm not I'm not as small as I think I am. I really do have a voice. And we do. Each and every one of us has a gift and talent that another person doesn't have. And tonight it's a privilege for Ashley and I to introduce Kristi Pastore. She's a human resource CEO. And the big topic around the table is THC in the workplace. And Kristi, I first of all thank you for joining us. Thanks for being a part of our advocacy board. And, this is very important for people watching right now. I heard a statistic like 54% of all corporate America has moved away from even testing for THC. But, I mean, why did you even get in the space of creating this? Like, you must have saw something missing. You have your own health journey. I know that's what it was, but share with us why the Health Advocacy Board makes sense for you and how we can assist those watching that may be in a job that may be fearful. I just heard through somebody else that if you can go on a military base right now at a water fountain, it says CBD is a drug. CBD is a cannabinoid of a plant, and our own military is teaching this. But guess who's embedded in our military? It's big pharma, and we don't have a choice. And so, Kristi, that was my frustration. You bring a breath of fresh air to somebody really wanting to know, what do I do in the workplace at this point?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to what you said. I think where I want to start is, I think human resources kind of fell in my lap, right? And I think for me, it's kind of protecting business and it's protecting people. And when I think about it from that simplest of terms, it's kind of being the advocate on both sides. And I think what we've seen in the workplace change is I don't know if I've ever, to be honest, although they've been in the test, I don't know if I've ever really looked at marijuana as a factor for pre-hire. I think random drug testing, sure, if there's like a post-accident, but I think I think it's more about the stigma that you're talking about and figuring out how to remove that because when you theoretically test for THC, it's not giving you the under the influence right now test that's accurate for how people function every day. And so I think
So what you're saying is it doesn't prove they're
it
intoxicated then.
doesn't prove it. No.
And
You,
at the
yeah.
end of the day, it's have you caused an accident? Are you doing something wrong? Are you disrupting the workplace? And Ashley, I'm going to bring you into this because I remember being in school. We always got sent to the school nurse. So you're the nurse here now. When we get in trouble at work, the first thing they do is send us to human resources or the nurse, right? They want to evaluate us. What's going on? Like, my philosophy is where I am. If I went into a job tomorrow, the first thing I'd say is, Ashley, I just want to let you know that I love this opportunity that you have here, but if you're going to test me for drugs, I'm going to let you know I'm going to test positive for THC. I want to let you know that I'm responsible, but I choose responsibility over medication. And therefore, I can give you my best every single day. So if you're willing to work with that, I'm willing to work with you. Does that work for you? And I learned that through a friend because they actually did that. And the human resource, the hiring agent for that corporation, huge corporation, said, kind of like dropped their pen and said, in all my years, I have never had somebody come straight forward and just be real. He goes, you're hired.
I think that's really an ideal. And I think a lot of us have done that as leaders, but I think the reality is that the people entering the workforce aren't going to take that opportunity. I think it's on us as leaders, honestly, to advocate that they're not in drug tests and that we're also talking to the candidates. Hey, I'm going to give you a drug test. I'm not testing for THC. Here's why. This is why I don't test for it. This is why I believe in it. I use it myself. I know if I test you, it doesn't mean that you're using right now, as long as you don't use it in the workplace. Like it's all good, right? Like do CBD, do hemp, do all the things, but I think it's about having, just like your friend did, that transparent conversation. I think the reality is though a lot of people entering the workforce won't have that just because they don't have the years of experience or confidence to do that. So I think as
That is
leaders, we
true.
need
So
to
what?
drive it.
So we need to drive it. So how do we get to the workforce? Ashley, I know I asked you to say something a minute ago. How, this is to both of you, how do we influence the workforce?
It's leading by
Are they,
example.
and my next question is, are they funded by big pharma to keep these products out? See, I
I
think
don't know if
there's
that
something
matters for this
deeper.
conversation though, does it?
I don't know if employers, big corporations are in whatever to make something not look healthy for you. I think it could dissuade the public. I think we're doing everybody an injustice, and so we've got to really reel it back and
My battle is not big enough to fight the government or big pharma. My battle is to fight like the community and the ripple effects that are right around me. So I think for
yeah.
me, it's leading by example. I mean, other people have certain powers and resources I don't. But I think for me, it's like leading by example as a leader of a company, business owners, talking to other business owners, making sure they're leading by example, talking about it on social media like we're doing. But I'm with you. I'm like, I think every person has their power to, I think, create the platform that makes sense for them.
We're a drop in the ocean, and we're all creating a little bit of a ripple. But if
Yeah.
enough of us do it at the same time, we're going to create a wave, and I think that's what we're really doing. And Ashley, you come from the medical field. You've seen both sides. You know what narcotics do, and you know what THC does. You've got a long history in that industry. What are your thoughts? What are they really seeing in the medical field these days? Because what I'm seeing is like in Texas, they ban some hemp products again, and then all the bad players start doing stuff under the market, and then all of a sudden you see a report that bad products are in the marketplace, and so they try to elevate medical marijuana and degrade what's supposed to be legal. And it's just a game, and people are tired of the game. They just want to go to work. They want to be healthy. They want to be creative. Give
I
us some
think
advice. Yes, please.
I sense, first of all, we're dealing with the past and the present, and then we're walking into a future. And the past is in the workplace, we've looked at employees being intoxicated or under the influence. And when they're intoxicated and under the influence, especially in dangerous environments, they could cause harm. They could cause harm to themselves and other people. So I think that was the first risk inside of HR's employee health and other environments where we're protecting the employee and we're protecting the workplace. And I think Kristi's conversation is really valuable is which do we focus on, protecting the workplace or protecting the employee? And we tend to focus on bigger corporations, focus on protecting the workplace, risk mitigation. But what we really mean is we want to get out the bad people or the employees that are under the influence and don't know how to manage their wellness, manage their mentation, manage how they're thinking and how they're performing. You asked me personally in the healthcare areas. First of all, I have lots of ideas about this process because when we're sick, do we stay home? Usually not. We usually go to work sick because I got to pay the bills, or I don't have enough sick time, or somebody else is taking care of a sick child and I can't take off. Those kinds of things. So we don't, as employees, we don't always make great decisions about ourselves and our capacity to function well. So I think it goes to the responsibility of everyone, the employees too, is to take responsibility for yourself. If you're sick, don't go to work. If
I
you're
think that's changed a lot too in the last several years, to be honest. I've seen that self-advocacy change quite a bit in the last 6 years since COVID, to be honest. So
that's
I do
really
think people stay at home more and are doing what you're saying.
I agree as well. I agree as well, but I want to bring into that conversation is, am I sick physically? Am I sick mentally? Like I'm disturbed and we used to call it a mental health day a long time
Yeah,
ago.
I offer those for sick days still.
That's right. And then there's emotionally roller coaster days too. I mean, like, why can't we be real about that? Like, my husband blew up at me or my child just died or whatever it is, right? It doesn't even have to be bereavement. Like, what is it? And I need an emotional health day, right? And so, and what about that for I got intoxicated or how about intoxicated all the way till 2 a.m. and I show up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. at the office and I'm still intoxicated even on alcohol, right? We have challenges like that all the time. So
Mhm.
when the employee can take full responsibility for their own advocacy, their own wellness, whatever category of wellness they're dealing with, and be upfront and honest, that starts the conversation and the ball rolling. Then there's less likely inside the organization to be such stiff rules about drug testing and all of this. So,
So
yes,
right now there's about one in four adults taking CBD products and 1 in 3 taking functional mushrooms in the workplace. So I do
right.
think, the trends of, because I
Okay,
don't
so
think, I honestly don't think it's all about being creative. I deal with a lot of high risk clients, landscape, production, manufacturing. They're on top of roofs in construction, HVAC. You have to be very alert, but you have to be functional, right? And I think that's really the difference of, yes, you can be in marketing and be creative, and that's great. And maybe you could do THC at that job. But the reality is, you can only do hemp and CBD and functional mushrooms and maybe other roles. And I think the uptick of what we're seeing of people choosing those mushrooms and CBD and hemp for, I mean, that's 1 in 4 and 1 in 3
well,
in the workplace.
in that space though too, let's take a moment on functional mushrooms. Functional mushrooms are not drugs. They are
I don't think
nutritional.
I don't like to call any of these drugs, to be honest. So I think if we just remove that term
Right.
and just talk about things that like they are, like
I'm gonna eat some
THC.
plants. Yeah, I'm gonna eat some plants in my gummy here. Like and the thing is yeah, the workplace, THC doesn't belong there while you're working there, but there are lots of great products like we've created with Grounded
That
to
make you
not,
productive. They make you more
yes, like
productive.
that's the whole
Right.
point, is to get your mind there without being all jittered out, right? You want to feel present in the moment and be able to be functionally clear. And I think that's where most people are not anymore, is they're not functionally clear. And I
Yeah.
just want to make it clear to people in the workplace that it is loosening it up, and we do need to have the conversation. And CBD is not a drug, and they're trying to villainize the hemp plant right now because of the little bit of THC, but really they want to steal all the cannabinoids and call it medication. I mean, that's clearly and real what's going on. And so I just want to let people know that you've got to have conversations with people you trust. And that's why we've created a health advocacy board at Botany Scientifics. I want people like Kristi that we can trust, that you can trust, that you can come to and say, you know what, that's the company putting out products and associating with people that are doing things right to advance business into the new world. And I do mean the new world. Like we hear people all the time in corporate America say, "Oh, we're family." Our company, we're growing into a big corporation too at Botany Scientifics, and we are family, we are friends, and we legitimately have real conversations, and we don't do it for fluff and policy and to feel good. Like these are people going through life with us. It's like we've been to battle together in an industry called hemp, you know? And so we're collaborating together and we're stronger. So our platoon, our army is ready to serve. And that's what we were really designed to do as humans. And that's why I believe this plant is so controversial, because it was God's answer for our healing, and only man could take that away. And we've got to stand. And so, um, Kristi, this is really about you, health advocacy in the workplace. Is there anything you'd like to share that you see moving forward in the workplace where that person going to the work could maybe start a conversation or start to have more confidence, or what to look for in a company or product when they do take products?
I mean, I think it's looking at how companies thinks about benefits and rewards and health and wellness, and having those conversations early on in interview stages, and seeing if there's alignment there, because that's going to lead to pre-employment drug testing. What happens there, that's going to lead to whether you have conversations about wellness when you're in the workforce after you're hired. So I think really talking about things that aren't related to just your knowledge, skills, and abilities and how you can perform and do the job is really important. I think it's like what you said, it's aligning on values, aligning on wellness advocacy. You know, you can't ask certain things legally, but I think it's removing all those barriers and talking to people as humans and just seeing if there's alignment and forgetting the rules that are involved. Because I think the more that we can just be humans with each other, the more we can see if we're aligned for like the tenure of the employment relationship. And because the reality is it's not just about people coming to work, clocking in, doing their job, and going home. Like what I teach my team is if we're supporting small, medium-sized businesses or corporations, you have to be able to help the business succeed. And so I think that takes a really transparent, psychologically safe workspace where you're having conversations and you ultimately bring your personal relations and home and wellness into professional conversations. It's just going to happen. It's not 1950 anymore where you're like, here's a check and you're like, thanks. It's like you come to work, let's be integrative together and let's be well together.
And that makes a lot of sense. I think people really, to be happy and to be self-fulfilled is, are you fulfilled where you work? I mean, if you're worried about those things that are important to you, then you're not core emission lined, and that's where depression, anxiety, and everything starts to begin with. So honor ourselves, because our value is more than we believe it is sometimes. And there is an employer out there wanting your skills, wanting your gifts, wanting your talents. And we've just got to get back to being the best version of ourselves. And I think this is what this all goes back to, is creating the best version of ourselves in the workplace. Because if we're going to spend time there, we might as well enjoy it and love what we do.
I agree, and I really sense that our opportunity in recognizing that cannabinoids are natural in our body and that we produce our own with or without food, we can produce our own when our nervous system is upregulated, meaning online, not numb, aware, alive, alert, and awake. And that's the process of what our grounded gummy is representing, is being grounded with purpose. And inside that purpose, we do know that they're not drugs. They've been classified inappropriately. And I was looking up some data to move past our opinion about this idea. Is in 1988, a woman named Alan Hartlett and her colleagues actually figured out that we have receptor sites and a natural endocannabinoid system in our body. I put us out here in 2026 now, almost 40 years later, and developing research and understanding about our endocannabinoid system, our receptor sites, and how we create cannabinoids to create a full upregulated nervous system that functions well, that helps our bodies heal, and we become aware of what's actually happening in our body versus having to count on everything outside of ourselves in order to understand what's happening inside.
That's really good. Kristi, any
Love
final
it.
words?
No, I don't think so.
We left everyone speechless. Here we go.
Yeah, that was
Right?
awesome. Well, we thank everyone for being here. And if you're watching this recording and you like what you heard or learned, please share it with another. Go to askashley.io and get registered. You can easily share that with anybody while you're out and about. Follow us on YouTube. We look forward to serving you. And if you have any questions for Ashley herself, you can go to askashley@botanyscientifics.com. So we love you all, appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.